I've got a couple minutes left with you, Senator Graham, and I want to turn domestically to negotiations that have to do with other things like immigration and the budget. Let me start on the budget. Do you think that the President's framework that he announced, including change CPI, a gradual way to cut Social Security benefits, is a good faith effort on his part? Do you think he can actually win some new revenues as a budget deal by doing it?
There are nuggets of his budget that I think are optimistic. It's overall a bad plan for the economy, but when you look at change CPI and Medicare reductions, we're beginning to set the stage for the grand bargain. Change CPI, adjust, harmonize the retirement age of Medicare with Social Security, do some means testing for both programs, and in return flatten the tax code. About $600 billion of revenue. And if you look at these changes over 30 years, there's $4 to $5 trillion in savings. So I'm looking for the biggest spending cut in American history by reforming entitlements, saving those entitlements, and the President's showing a little bit of leg here. This is somewhat encouraging. His overall budget's not going to make it, but he has sort of made a step forward in the entitlement reform process that would allow a guy like me to begin to talk about flattening the tax code and generating more revenue.
You think a grand bargain is possible by July?
I think if you do immigration and the grand bargain this year will dominate the 21st century, yes. The key to the grand bargain is, can we solve immigration? If we can, in a bipartisan fashion, fix a broken immigration system to regain our lost sovereignty, control who comes to the country, who gets a job, a robust temporary worker program. And as to Republicans, the politics of self-deportation are behind us. Mitt Romney's a good man. He ran in many ways a good campaign, but it was an impractical solution. Quite frankly, it was offensive. Every corner of the Republican Party, from libertarians, the RNC, House Republicans, and the rank-and-file Republican Party member, is now understanding there has to be an earned pathway to citizenship. That gives us leverage on immigration with our Democratic friends.
I want to follow on that in just a second, but I also want to follow up. You're putting new revenue, as a Republican, you're putting that on the table, and you think it ought to be there.
If we do substantial entitlement reform, that will save $4 to $5 trillion over a 30-year window. I think
is what the President's talking about in your view?
Yeah, more
substantial.
This is a step in the right direction, but harmonizing the age for retirement, means testing both programs, CPI adjustments, gets you pretty much where you need to go.
Is the Republican leader of the Senate there yet?
Well, I can tell you this, that the Republican Party would benefit, as well as the Democratic Party, from saving the American economy from becoming Greece. If the President will lead on this, and he showed some leadership, no Democrat will get to his right. Nobody's going to adjust the age for retirement if the President doesn't embrace it. Nobody's going to adjust CPI if the President doesn't embrace it. So he's showing some of leadership that's been lacking. I'm encouraged, and that puts the burden on us to do the same thing. I think we